Are you just starting out in Dokkan or coming back after a few years to maybe play during an anniversary or something like that? You might be wondering, what is the best way to manage my Dragon Stones and be free to play in the correct way? Well, you're in the right place. Today we are going to be talking about the right way to be free to play in Dokkan. That way you can be smart with your stones and overall have the longest, most sustainable version of your account. So we're going to be going over a few philosophies that I like to follow in today's video, and we are also going to be going over just some other general rules that I like to follow in order to have the most sustainable future with Dokkan, because at the end of the day, one of the objectives of this game is to sort of bottleneck you into wanting to feel like you have to spend stones. And if you follow these kind of rules and guidelines and stuff like that, this is going to be an easy way for you to kind of circumvent that and use your items, your resources in the most responsible way possible in order to have the most amount of fun, the most amount of discipline, and the most amount of success on Dokkan. So let's go ahead and get into how to Dokkan and free to play the right way. The first major step of being free to play in Dokkan is taking everything that the game gives you and using it to the proper amount, like stuff like stones and resources, zenny, items, kais, all of that fun stuff. These are very important items that you need to make sure that you're keeping hold of and only using when absolutely necessary or when it is the most convenient for you. So when we have items like Dragon Stones, you want to make sure that you are getting as many as possible. And the first thing that I want to talk about is logging into the game every single day and doing your daily missions. Now, this is a very simple process here. You guys can see you get a Dragon Stone from this right here, and all you have to do is go do any event 3 times, and this is going to work for you. So what I would recommend you do is go over to the growth tab and do as many of these events as you need to do in order to make sure that you're getting the 3 clears and therefore completing your dailies for the game. Now, this is a very typical gacha practice, right? Having you on the game every day just increases the likelihood that you'll play every day, which there in turn, the longer you're playing the game, increases the likelihood that you will spend money. But again, what we are trying to do is work around that. So one way to do that is acquiring all the stones that you can get as a free-to-play player when they are given out, right? Dokkan is always tending to give, or is always going to be giving out free stones in one way or another. But the way that this game tends to work is they aren't just going to be handing them to you on a silver platter. The sort of way that you're going to have to work around that is by completing the tasks and doing the things that you have to do. Example, clearing difficult events, logging in every day, completing certain missions and stuff like that. These are all going to be ways that you are going to be able to get Dragon Stones, right? This is not a gacha that's just going to hold your hand. There's a lot of information that you have to understand, and then once you have a hold of that information, the pattern does kind of get a bit repetitive, and you will understand how it works. So that is kind of what I'm trying to get at here. We want to make sure that we are taking advantage of everything that the devs are giving out, and in this case, the Dragon Stones are being given out by doing your daily missions, by logging in every day with your login bonuses, and this is how you are going to be able to sustain being free to play, because of the fact that you aren't going to have to sort of use Dragon Stones for summoning for random characters, stamina refreshes, and all of that fun stuff. So we're going to be talking more about that here in a moment. But the first thing that I want you guys to take advantage, or to sort of remember, is to take advantage of what the game gives you and log in every day to ensure that you are getting as many Dragon Stones as possible, right? The essence of everything in Dokkan is making sure you have your Dragon Stones where you can get the characters when you want them. The next step that I want you guys to follow is to ensure that you are not just spending stones on things that you don't need to be spending stones on, right? Summoning for characters that you need to obtain in order to play the game at a comfortable pace, that is going to be a different case because you are using your stones smartly, right? We're going to be talking about that more. That's going to be the big bulk of this video. But using your stones on pointless stuff, not pointless stuff, but things that you probably don't need to be doing, is one way to kind of go down the drain in terms of like your commitment to the game long term. If you are somebody that logs in, gets 50 stones, does a multi, or spends all your stone refreshing your stamina in order to get Dragon Stones and stuff like that on events, you're going to find yourself spending more stones than you are collecting when you do stuff like that. So the only time you really should be getting into the game of refreshing your stamina with stones is when you have a lot of stones and you are in the higher ranks to the point where it could be difficult to level up with one stamina bar. When you are starting out at the beginning of the game, the number of stamina that you have is basically going to be staying at 999 with the amount that you are ranking up. Because at rank 99, or because when you were in the lower ranks, your stamina, whenever you rank up, the amount of stamina you hold combined with the amount of stamina you have is going to go overlap into the next bar. So for an example here, let's just say on this stage, I might rank up. I don't know what my XP is, honestly, to my next level, but let's just take a look here, right? So you guys can see I have a bit to go, 760,000 to rank up. But let's just say, in theory, I were to rank up right now, I would get a plus 298. So that would put me at what? 512 stamina here if I were to rank up right now. So that was kind of how it's going to work, especially when you're at the lower ranks, and 1 or 2 runs at a time is going to be ranking you up very quickly. It's just, you're going to have 999 stamina a lot, and you're not going to need to emphasize spending stones to do your stamina refreshes. Another way you can do so is by using meat items, right? Aged meat items are stuff that you get via login, via missions. These are essentially just stamina refreshing items that are very helpful, but they are nowhere near as common to get as dragon stones, just because dragon stones is like the main currency that gets people playing the game, right? When you get back into something, it's like, oh, there are no dragon stones. That means I'm not going to do it. So that is one thing we definitely want to avoid. And again, spending stones on unnecessary stuff, right? Buying box space right away, right? Spending your stones to buy box space. You're not going to need to be doing that because you're not going to be summoning that often, especially at the start. Just other little things, right? Refreshing stamina, continuing in fights. You never want to do these things because we are trying to acquire as many stones as possible and hold on to them and wait for the right time to summon, which we'll be talking about next. So this is kind of the second thing, right? Take advantage of what the game gives you. Don't spend your stones on unnecessary things, and let's move on to the most important tip. When playing Dokkan free-to-play, there's one big rule that I want you guys to always follow at all times, so that way you guys can get the most out of your accounts and your time on the game, and you are acquiring the most important and essential characters to your overall setups, right? This is something that people can kind of overlook in the process of getting with the game, and you just want to get whatever new shiny toy is in the game. Now, what I'm going to be doing is breaking down the types of banners that Dokkan has, and in case you guys don't know, you might be new to the game, I recommend you watch my beginner's guide, by the way. It'd be very helpful for you. But there are multiple different types of summons that are live in the game at any given time. Now, the one that we have on an example of on the screen right now on the summon tab when I'm recording this is an example of a bad banner. This is what is known as a legendary summon. Now, a legendary summon is overall, the rule with these typically tends to be, do not summon because the featured characters are not worthy of using your dragon stones on, and there are also a lot of bad characters that you can get on the banner. I'm not going to get into the specifics, but just know a lot of the characters you're looking at right now are not top end, right? They can be okay, but they're not top end. So that typically means that you should not summon on that banner. Now, with legendary summons, just always remember, if you look at a banner and you see legendary summon, don't even think about it. The only exception is when it is your favorite character and you are going to have the most enjoyment playing the game using that character. That is the only time where this rule is going to be subsided. But the other types of banners that are in the game are going to be one known as Extreme Z Dokkan Festivals, Mysterious Ritual Summons. Stuff like this in this tab, you're almost never going to want to summon on. The ones that you really want to focus on are Dokkan Festival or Dokkan Fest banners, and these banners are going to include characters that are the hardest to obtain because they can only appear on those types of banners when they are featured. So that is going to be very important. Dokkan Festival exclusive banners, Dokkan Festival exclusive LR banners, these are going to be the best value banners for your account. Now you might be wondering, when do the best banners come out during the year? Well, I'm happy that you asked because I'm going to give you the answer. The beginning of the year, at the end of January, we have what is known as the yearly anniversary for the game, and this is going to give you the most valuable kind of stuff, like I don't know what would the word be, right? Like you're getting the most value with each summon because you are giving yourself the chance to get the best and most desirable characters in the game. So Dokkan Festival exclusive LR banners are going to be your best friend. Carnival banners usually are going to be a no-go, but sometimes they can be okay. They are definitely better than legendary summons. But that is going to be the main rule when it comes to banners to summon on. Now, what you guys should probably be doing with each banner that comes out, your boy does a should you summon video. Now, if you are subscribed to the channel, you guys know that I do these with every new banner. I just answer the question, should you summon? And most of the time, the answer is going to be a resounding no, just because that is how the game works these days. Especially during these dry periods, there's just not many good characters that they are dropping or characters worth summoning for, right? You want to make sure that you are finding the right time. So ease of access with information, right? Asking your friends that play the game, asking a content creator, right? Going on YouTube, going on Twitter, going on Reddit. Finding all of these different sources that you can use to figure out if a banner is worth your time or not is definitely going to be something that is very important. So using your stones properly and not summoning on every banner are definitely going to be the core philosophies of being free to play in Dokkan and making sure you are doing it the right way. Now, let's get into the last piece of advice I have for you guys, and that is, this is the major emphasis of Dokkanning responsibly is what we call it around here. I don't know who coined that term, a creator of sorts, I'm sure. The first name that comes to mind is Toon Rami, but I didn't come up with it myself. That's all I'm going to say because I don't know who started it. So what do I mean by Dokkaning responsibly? Now, if you do not know, in this game, the way that you can level up the super attack of a character is with Elder Kais or Grand Kais, these items right here. Dozing Kais, you guys can see. We have the Grand Kais, which are these ones, and then we have Elder Kais in themselves. Now, these are precious items that you can use to level up the super attack on any character. But when we have a character like Trunks, what you want to do is find characters of a certain name, and that is going to help you level up the super attack and save Kais. So if we go over to the sell button, you guys can see here, we have a lot of Kais of each typing, right? You guys can see the Grand Kais, the Elder Kais, the Dozing ones. We have a lot because what I like to do is find a same name character for a lot of the characters that we have, and this is going to help you save your Kais a ton. When being free to play, this is going to be extremely important because, again, sometimes you're going to get put in a position where it's like, oh man, I don't have any Elder Kais, the exchanges are out, the missions are out. What do they want you to do? They want you to go over here, go to Dragonstone and do this, right? Because they just suckered you into spending stones on something that you shouldn't need to spend stones on. So that is what we are trying to avoid. Now, a really good way to kind of go around this right here is the Giru's Guide. You can click on this and it's going to show you ways that you can obtain super attacks for characters, right? Showing the stage, all of this fun stuff. This thing right here, the Giru's Guide, is going to be your best friend being free to play because you could scroll down here and find the super attack level for all of these characters, right? Anyone that you could imagine that has a farmable super attack is going to be in this page right here. So that is the best advice that I can give you when leveling up your characters. You definitely need to be taking advantage of the Giru's Guide. And that is sort of the last piece of advice that I want to give you guys. Let me know down below if you have any other tips for newer or returning players. I'm sure they would love to hear it in the comment section below. And thank you guys for watching this video. I appreciate your time. If you did enjoy it and found it helpful, don't forget to leave a like. And if you enjoy my Dokkan content, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on anything. The game is going to be picking back up here soon. And, you know, we will definitely be covering it for sure and making sure you guys are staying in the loop and are put in the best position to prosper. And if you've made it this far, I have good news for you. Season 2 of Zero to Hero is starting soon, so let me know you're excited for that in the comment section below as well. As always, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you all in the next one.